bit more difficult this in life, Dai.
You are.
Turn the volume up.
So we're on and we're going, all right? Okay. So I've asked the Baglan back row. I'm not back row, but I've asked the Baglan back row. David Lockie. Introduce yourselves,
Dai
please.
Lockie, number 7, number 6, number 8.
Dai Evans, 1 to 15 probably.
Steve Lewis, 13, unlucky for some.
Vivian, 6 to 2.
Smile, man.
We don't know how to smile around here. Never will.
So Steve snuck in because he's a centre, but that's okay because he's arranged this reunion.
Well,
thank you,
Steve.
David.
Well done,
Yeah.
Steve.
Yeah.
Great to see every year.
Yeah. So let's start with you, David Evans, because you didn't start playing because we talked to you first, and we didn't start playing until you were how old, David?
First game as senior rugby was 28.
And you were captain for how many seasons?
My name's on the captain board 4 times. Obviously not from 28. Had a few years to get used to playing rugby first of all, and then thankfully players voted me as captain for a couple of years.
Admired his speed and resilience.
So
Altitude.
so there's got to be one thing that Baglan is famous for, guys, winning the Brewers Cup.
Correct.
Yeah. So tell us who's got memories of playing in a cup. Steve, who scored a try in the final, is that right?
The second final versus Kimler. I was the touchdown artist that day, thanks to others in the team and their support. And laid on the boots try via Andy Palmer's centre contributions in the first final against Heelkin.
Excellent.
But
Yeah.
touchdowns, all hard work comes from these fellas, of course.
Yeah.
Surrounding me to get us to that position.
Good. So, David, did you play in the final?
I played in the second final against Kimler. My abiding memory, apart from obviously when I remember the Steve's try, I think it was David Lockie made the extra man in the midfield, and I went through Palmer's to Steve running 30-40 yards. But my abiding memory there is in the shower after
We waited for it, Dai.
Glad you mentioned it, Dai Lockie.
it actually made the back page of the Daily Express. I went to jump in the shower and caught my head on the
Underside of the stadium.
I don't know what I caught my head on, but it was a crack, and Dr. Jack, after when I had obviously the injury, WRU were there and said, we've got a surgeon, Dr. Jack Matthews, here to stitch you up, and I asked for Lynn Price, but I ended up with Dr. Jack Matthews putting the stitches in me, and it was nice to see the faces of the Kimler players after the game. When I had the injury, obviously they hadn't seen the shower incident or the bath incident.
Tough nuts, these Baglan boys fighting amongst themselves even.
David, were you kicking on that day?
I got a couple of people asking me how far was the kick out, because we had no measurements then. But I keep telling people I was in the river, probably from the river over, and Steve reckoned it went 10 yards over.
Easy.
So it was about 150 yard kick.
But it made Mid-Thorburns look small, yeah.
Hard one. It is probably about, I don't know,
From the halfway line, wasn't it?
50-ish yards. So
Yeah.
nice, caught it well, lovely. Get over there, baby.
More to it than that, Dai. There's a lot more to it than that.
So
It
you
was a
go
pressure
there,
match.
it went over.
For an occasional kicker.
Well, hang on, I got to say this, right? It's one of them standout memories of Baglan's play. It was a pressure match, and there were other kickers inside. And Dai, he got a way of going like that with his fingers, give the ball to me when his penalty was called. And he kicked it over, and it was still rising on over the post. more important, when I look at Dai as a player, he hadn't kicked the ball in that position for, I don't know, 2 or 3 seasons, and it was an individual. He put himself under serious pressure as an individual, and he delivered big style. So I thought that was a standout.
Moment to see.
I can remember one kick. The only twice I can remember Dai kicking penalties. Once was against the Quins in the Welsh Cup. That was from own half as well. Remember that, Dai?
How much money do you lot want?
No, I can remember. But no.
I'm sure Dai knows this.
The kick was too far out for the regular kickers.
Yes.
And I remember
Took it
Dai
on board.
just the sort of authority and sort of thing. Yasha was captain probably then. Give me the ball. The only one on the field that could have done it. Probably, to me, the only one in Wales could have done it. Twice was Dai.
I gotta say, Yashin is a captain, he's a fantastic captain. But twice I said to him, Yash,
Fancy this.
I'll have a go. And twice he gave it to me, and I got 2 from 2. So
Yeah.
Excellent.
not a bad record.
But they were both of them were monstrous kicks.
You captained a number of seasons as well, didn't you?
2, is it? 2, 3? I can't remember. But in different times. I didn't 3 on a trot. I think it was 2. I can't. It was so long ago. It's 1980 now. What are we in now?
We have to film the board. If the board was behind us, we'd have a clue.
Do you play the final bit?
First one, I broke my arm, but I'd taken nothing away from the people who picked before me because they were better players. Second one, things didn't go right. However, I felt always part of the side that played in the game previous.
Yeah, you were in the squad.
We were all part of it.
Yeah.
All part of it.
And Dai.
I didn't play either.
No,
I played one game that season.
they were a terrific side. And when you look at the players out there now, you do always compare. And I've got to be straight. I do feel that them 3 or 4 years were the best side Baglan ever had. And I take nothing away from the young side this year now. But the skill levels, the fitness, and the ability to play any type of rugby, that's what I remember. And going away to the Valley sides,
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
who had massive reputations. They were taken apart
On their patches. Yeah.
on their patches.
You playing against 15 Mike Tysons as well.
So,
The Valleys.
It's a credit.
Alright.
Yeah,
Hoi,
like,
hoi.
Right, Evan?
it's something I'll always remember, and it's one of the reasons why I'm still part of the club.
Great
It's one of the reasons
memories
I've come back
as
here
well.
today.
Great memories as well.
Lifelong.
What about the club record for scoring tries?
Yeah, so I have to take the credit for that one as well, unfortunately. In time. Not to, if Colin was here, I'd be reprimanded now for self-acclaim as a poor man's claim. But it was thanks to the support of the team. It was probably my debut match for Baglan RFC first team against the Alicante All Stars. On the wing I played, and the ball found its way to me many opportunities for me to touch down 9 tries that day in about 100-0 victory.
Jimmy took him off because he's.
I
You only played 3 quarters of the game. As well, right?
I put it down to good pass and scrum half, getting the ball out.
Quality players.
And I played on the wing, and Gough Edwards looked across to me in the second half and said, "How many tries you scored, Steve?" I said, "About 6, I think." He said, "Get over here in the middle," he said. There was another try coming. That was the story of the day.
Good days. We were probably one of the only teams that went down to Spain and played like that on tour. So it was a. If I remember,
Groundbreaking.
We had what they call us, ambassadors.
Oh, yeah,
We were the
yeah.
ambassadors of Welsh rugby going down there. So what a set to go down there as ambassadors.
Especially when we went to Valencia.
Yeah. Who played in the Valencia? I played in the Valencia match.
Yeah, I was
Did you play in it? You played in
Yes.
it? Yeah.
Called off.
Dai, you won
Before
you
was
time.
it?
They played in there.
The banquet's off then, Jim. Gary
So
Owen. Jim's banquet's off.
So So can I come in a picture of this one?
Yeah, you can.
So I was scrum
Come
half.
here, Dai.
Yeah, yeah. So I was scrum half in that match, and the one memory I've got. Okay, so the referee he was rubbish, wasn't he? He was the worst referee. He was so one-sided, and after about 23 minutes, we had about 6 or 7 scraps with me, 6 or 7 foot.
Correct.
Yeah, but the one scrap I remember. I mean, I was scrum half, okay, and just the ball was thrown into the line out, and all of a sudden everything erupted, and I turned around and swung at the nearest bloke, who was 6'8", number 8.
That's a big
He
voice.
was honestly, he was like that, and he just held his hand up again. I go, oh, don't hit
Leave it be.
me, don't hit me. He was massive, yeah, he was massive, he was. But if he hit me, he'd be like, still travelling now.
Happy days.
Yeah. So, let's talk about Kevin's, yeah? Keith Evans?
Yes.
Yeah. He was great.
One of the best players not to have a card, I reckon. Myself personally, great player, great bloke.
Aberavon days.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You talk to anybody who played for Aberavon, they say the same thing. He was fantastic.
I gotta say something about you. Everybody recognises skill and every player he was. More importantly for me, he was one of the best men I've met.
He was nice, he was a nice fella.
He was
Yeah.
a total gentleman,
Yeah,
Keith
yeah.
was.
Never heard a bad word. No.
His way
Yeah.
was overwhelming. Friendship and discreet. He never said a lot. He kept his opinions to himself. He was just one very special man, and his family exactly.
He commanded respect and sort of
Without trying.
love without
Yeah.
just being what he was, like, don't you? He was a total.
As far as rugby ability, he was humble enough. The great player he was to come back and play for seconds, right? And this is on Western Avenue. He did a hand off against the side. I can't remember what it was. It was so impressive. He hit the boy about 4 or 5
Mike
feet
Tyson
back,
had him.
and it looked completely killing. It was killing, wasn't it? He could kill someone. And he did nothing wrong, and the ref sent him off.
Oh,
Yeah.
He didn't have a vicious,
Yeah.
body,
And,
did he?
so
He was, and he would never do that.
No.
But he was Baglan's greatest.
The only time
Sent
I
off.
see him aggressive,
That's what it is.
I don't know if any of
Don't
boys
Cleckley,
play.
is it?
Cleckley plays for Athletic, and he was. I don't know what Evan Jenkins had done to him, but he
Jenkins.
really upset
But the
Keith.
pair of them were at it, weren't they?
They were at it all. I'd never seen Keith aggressive before, and I wouldn't like to see it again. And he hit Evan
Fabulous man.
Jenkins all over the place.
Fabulous man. Totally, well, fabulous family anyway. Darren's following his footsteps. Darren and
is following in his footsteps.
fabulous family.
what's that now?
Right?
Bless.
Right, I got millions of memories. One of the best ones is when probably my first game for the seniors. We were playing Hendy down in Western Avenue. Hendy were West Wales champions, so we were playing them in the Welsh Cup. And I didn't know where, being a youngster, I didn't know where Hendy was, who they were, or anything. I just knew when I was in the change rooms with Jimmy, John Morris, Yashin was playing, Bernard, Ted. We weren't going out to play rugby, we were going to war. And I was thinking, this is war, here we go. And we went out and we battered Hendy. It wasn't much of a score, we battered them. And when we won, it was like, they should have set fireworks off because everybody was so happy. Everybody was happy in the dock, the old dock days. Everybody was happy. And I couldn't understand, like, well, we just beat this team, what's the thing? But Hendy were the best team in the world, according to everybody.
West Wales.
And I thought, well,
What's the big deal?
I've arrived, you know. This is where I belong. Yeah. Hendy ate us now, apart from everybody else. Great. One good memory, and I think that's the best.
I got two, can I say two memories?
Of course you can, Dave.
Yeah, I got two memories. Perhaps one sums up spirit in Baglan. I remember first game every season we used to play Seven Sisters, and Seven Sisters were supposedly a class above us, and they had a renowned front row, and we were playing for some reason down Aberavon Green Stars. We all turned up, but we had no props. So Dai stuck his hand up by prop, I stuck my hand up by prop, and I remember getting a real good shove on the bloody, remember it, Dai?
Yeah.
Dai kicking the bloody hell out of the shins of him, and we got a big shove on his supposedly invincible front row. That was a total team spirit type of thing. And another one I can remember, another memory, the first Brewers Cup Final. When we scored, we were under the cosh, we were winning, we were under the cosh for a long time. I was in the stand watching, and we scored a try right at the end, a breakaway try. And I remember Alan Gregory trying to get over the fence and catching his trousers in or whatever and falling at the heap. And somebody said, "They were right, Al." He said, "We've won." That was another memory for me.
We tried, those boys tried so long to win that cup. You know, it was 10 years between they got the first final, and it was 10 years till we won it. There was so many.
But Greg's in the car. I've never seen him so excited.
It was a heck of a competition, wasn't it? Because of the teams involved, over 140 club sides across Wales all competing for that trophy, and we won it 2 consecutive years as a club, Baglan. Not many other clubs have done that. I think only probably another 2 similarly in the history of the competition. But what sticks in my mind is many memories, but ultimately one of the tries we scored is in my mind because of the nature of cup competition. It's a knockout. There's 8 rounds in that competition to get to the final, and on the way there you're meeting the best competition that you could come up against in those areas, and you have to travel to their park sometimes, like Newbridge United on the Pant on a Saturday afternoon. They're ready, waiting for you. It was the second year for us in the Brewers competition that we were going on to win. But the try that day, we scored 2 tries. Beg pardon, might have been 3, but the first try was 2 tries. Kevin Gregory scored the first try.
3 tries.
Off the Andrew Lane move, which was something we often practiced, and had a touchdown, got us in front early on in a cup match, and that's where, you know, we're away from home on the opposition's territory. Early points on the board made a big difference. But a turning point in the game for us was in the second half. There was a high up and under from the opposition into our sort of 22 area, and this gentleman here appeared out of nowhere underneath it to claim it for his own, and I was cycling back as a diligent 3/4.
It's called sidelining.
Sidelining, and Dai, thank you, Dai. And and I was a bit surprised at first because Dai was off on his feet and hurtling back up the field. So I was a bit taken aback. You know, I managed to catch up with the young man, and Dai was a tremendous handle the pass of the ball and fed me the pass, and then I linked with Dai Morgan on the wing, who ran it in from halfway line across the mud patches of the ex sort of mining field bloody sludge heap.
He was fast, didn't he, Dai?
It was a great try, you know, and you know, to hurt the opposition like that on their own park that day, you know.
And Philly Bray finishing off for the 3rd try.
But a lot of it was a cup competition, and on the day it mattered. On that day you had to get it right, and you had to perform and get the result, and that's what we were good at as a team. We could produce that performance, whether it was Dai Morgan running 50 yards to score a try, and Dai Lockie taking up and under, counter-attacking from our own half.
Or rope-a-dope. Just leave them attack us and we win.
I got a much more different story to tell, and just come on to me. We wandered into North Wales territory Right.
Benllech.
Was it Benllech?
Benllech and
And,
Benllech.
this is accurate. The Sunday before. What is the name of that rugby program on Sunday evening at that time? Like, on the
Scrum, version of Scrum 5, was it?
It's similar version of Scrum 5, right? Was it Benllech or?
Benllech.
Benllech, definitely
They were
Benllech.
on there, were they?
Fighting the island.
As Brewers winners, we earned a lot of respect over that period. And we drew against Benllech. And the BBC Wales had interviewed the Benllech captain, who was a loser, and he was very confident. In fact, he said a bit too much that clearly turned against him. He was overconfident. He was very, he knew what we were going to be a tidy side, a good side. But he stalked things up a little bit too far. It was a step over the back. Anyway, all the boys heard it, and we were on our way up there on a Friday night. And Bernard is there, Bernard Williams, a veteran prop, Dai, was it right to say that, Dai?
Veteran, flipping hell of a prop.
Fantastic prop. He was marking it. So, all the way on the bus, now Bernard was bleating away and quiet, and you could see he was thinking. And some of the boys were on a piss because it was Christmas, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it was raining.
The weather was terrible. they moved the game to a bog because of the conditions, and that suited them. It was quite a substantial crowd. It was very tribal in the changing room. It was a bad atmosphere, I could sense it. We were quiet, it was a long journey, a 6-hour journey, bad sleep. It wasn't good. I didn't have a good feel. But anyway, we got into the field, and they were raucous. They were raucous, rude, aggressive. This is the facts. But the field kick out come, whack, down they come on us, and a couple of scrums into the game. I think I was hooking. I was behind. Okay.
Ted was up.
No, Ted was up. He was
background.
Bernard now was facing his captain, and Fern was a man of few words. He said to the captain, I heard what you said, let's see what we can do. And that set tone the game. Very, very dirty game. We beat them up there, and we weren't happy with it. And out of all the places I played, after the game, there was no time for us, and it was a bad spirit. But it was a fantastic win, and that's one of my favourite memories of beating somebody who was brave enough to tell you and push your chest out.
On air
It was a
park,
comeback.
away from home.
Can I say that I remember in the clubhouse after,
What's that, Bill?
Yashin got up, they said a speech, Yashin got up to say a speech, and terrible conditions, and I think Yashin said, like they slagged the referee off terribly. He said, I'd like to congratulate the referee, terrible conditions and all that. As for the Benllech supporters who come onto the pitch, because they more or less invaded the pitch during game time. As for the Benllech supporters, I'd like to tell you, Benllech would be happy to, if you want to get on the pitch, would be happy to see you training on a Tuesday and Thursday. And we all went.
It's fucking long photo shoot.
I know.
Is he trying to get you nipples hard?
Get in there, mate.
There we are.
Well done. Is that it, Dai?
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Pat.
Thank
Cheers,
you.
Dave.
Thanks.
Cheers, Dai.
Just out for a fag, I am.
You haven't got a clue.